Arca Bulls family, what is good? What is good tonight, everybody? What is up? Throw those A's in the chat if you can hear your boy speak. Make sure to throw those A's in the chat right now. What is up, my family? My moderators, Cal L, Mark Roach, Sebastian Lim. Good to see you in here. I know Hound is over there scoping the scene, right? So good to see you guys. Michael Payne, Nick, thank you guys so much. That really means a great deal to me and my family. Thank you so much. Johnny Barnes, same to you, my dude. Of course, we're going to look at Tesla in the broader markets as well. We definitely will take a look at BCAN, my dude. I know you've been asking me for that, so we will absolutely look into that, okay? Very excited to be streaming tonight, you guys. Go ahead and throw those A's in the chat if you can hear your boy speak right now through your speakers. What is up, you guys? What is up? Mark Roach, of course. Remember, you guys, the schedule is going to be right up here, okay? So this time around, we're going to be looking at the NDX starting first, okay, you guys? My power lifter, what is up? What is up? Vacay, good to see you here. 2BZ, 4BS, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Mick Hole, what's up? What's up? Oh my goodness, you guys, really excited to be here tonight, you guys. Lots of opportunities coming in the market. I love it. Oh my goodness, I hope you guys were able to catch that GTII video that I just put up. Okay, man, something is up with that ticker, and I think it may actually reverse, okay? So a lot of things are not suggesting for it to reverse, and I may be wrong as hell, but it's all suggesting a reversal, okay? So I am very curious over tomorrow's price action. So guys, very much keep an eye on your long positions, okay? Please remember to respect your risk management, most importantly. What is up, Monster Mike? Good to see you here. Very excited to be here tonight, you guys. Again, I can't express to you how much I love it, okay? Ian Tucker, what is up? What is up? So AMC, what's up, man? So AMC 8 Pittsburgh saying awesome call on the other day on AMC. Dude, I'm super stoked to have see, I actually didn't even know that it played out, right? So a lot of the times I get so many ticker requests, right, you guys, and I tend to not look at the results the next day, right? I just kind of will hope for that comment in Twitter or on Discord or something saying, "Well, Arca, you sucked. It didn't work out to your favor." Right? So very interesting times happening in the markets, guys. Northwest Sasquatch, powerful GTII vid, Arca. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. I was really trying to step outside of the box, you know what I mean? Look at it in a different perspective, and I think that could be the one, man. I don't know, but it's suggesting something very interesting for the coming days, right? So Powerlifter, you go ahead and choose, my dude. Please let me know, which one do you want? You want to do SPY or NDX today? You know, we're switching them off back and forth, right? But since you're here, since you're already present in the Arca chat right here, man, please let me know, which one would you personally want, dude? NDX or the SPY? It's all on you, my dude. Samantha H, moderator Samantha, good to see you here. Very excited to be streaming here, guys. I love it. Rosie Gray Glasses saying that she wants to SPY. What? All right. Rosie Gray Glasses, actually, I just assumed that you were female, so my apologies if you are not. right? So I could have done something else, right? Of course, you guys. So Nick, Mr. Levitz, Eric Powerlifter, Mark Roach, Lil AR15, Samantha H. My goodness, guys, you are all suggesting the ticker symbol SPY. Of course, we'll go ahead and get the ticker symbol SPY reviewed, right? So that we can understand what could be happening in the broader markets tomorrow. Remember, guys, this is important for us to look at before we can actually start looking at the tickers of our choices, right? We need to know what the broader markets are feeling like, what it's doing. We were already looking at that potential breakout from this SPY ticker, right? Very interesting for it to actually happen, right? Making decisions upon price action, guys, is a very important aspect of my strategy itself. Okay, so I definitely like to look at raw price action, some volume here and there, and key levels of support and resistances. A lot of people tend to call those demand and supply zones. Of course, we can look at those, right, you guys? So yes, Nick, we're going to definitely be looking at Tesla alongside the SPY. Okay, so for now, we're just going to X out the NDX and make sure that we have that Tesla ticker. Remember, guys, right up here is where you can see what the schedule is kind of looking like, right? So I know there are a million requests and stuff, and also I know that there are a lot of people asking me for that ticker, PRTT. All right, so we're gonna definitely look into that too. And I think somebody said it was actually Avid Traders ticker, right? Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Not a problem whatsoever. Not a problem whatsoever, right? Yeah, Northwest Sasquatch. I know that's an GZMP was that ticker, right? That I actually was telling you guys that was gonna go up a couple days ago, right? So, or was it MZGP actually? Am I just messing it all up right now? MZ. Yeah, or GMZP. There we go. My goodness, man. That's a bunch of random letters. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and put it here in the schedule. If we're able to get to it, we'll definitely get to it, okay? So let me just go ahead and make sure that that's in my notes as well, okay? So MZGP making astronomical bounces. I mean, astronomical upsides, right? So yes, we were able to see that move before it happened, right? And that happens, guys, when we're able to see multiple time frame setups of volatility versus momentum, okay? That is the particular thing that I was looking for, and it was highly likely that we were going to make an upside, right? So I signaled as many people as I could, and we definitely got it in, right? So actually, you know what? That may not be a bad ticker to add to the broader markets, you guys. So let me see if we can add how TMI. Let's see, the Master Investor, he says NVIDIA, right? Is that just him, or is it everyone else that also refers to NVIDIA as NVIDIA? It's a funny way to put it, to be honest, right? Just like he calls, and I'm not sure if it's also him. Is it AMC? He calls it Amy, and then GME is Jimmy. Good times in the markets. What's up, Beso AB? Good to see you here. Very excited tonight, guys. Very cool opportunities in the market, right? So without any further ado, we might actually have to get this moving. Yes, so actually right here, let's see. Gatita Bonita, what's up with you? Yes, we're going to be looking at COEP. So I'm sorry, guys. That's the only ticker that I don't have in the schedule here because I have it right back here. Okay, so we need to take a look at that, right? So I have both of my charts, behind each other so that we could look at that ticker as well. So Bree, I know, I still owe that ticker COSM, right? I know. Let me go ahead and see if we can try to get into it today, okay? So let me, let's see. I'm going to leave it on the COSM RSI, okay? So I'll try my very best, but if I can't, you know I will always come back to it. COSM and COEP and also GMZP were tickers that I was supposed to be able to cover today in dedicated videos, but I was not I was not able to, as I already fixed my wife's car. We got it done, guys. Everything is good. We're just gonna do the alignment in the car tomorrow and everything will be cool, right? Bree, you know how it is. Well, I always will come back to it. Okay, so Johnny Barnes saying INM maybe tonight. I'll add it on the schedule too, my dude. That's already kind of far, but I'm not sure that we'll be able to get to it, as I am very, very intricate with the tickers, right? I don't want to show you guys just like, oh, it's going up, oh, it's going down. That's because I don't know. We need to kind of evaluate the ticker as best as we could, right? So very interesting. Oh man, if I can tell you something very honest right now, I'm not liking that I'm already seeing, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, 5. Okay, so now we're on 6 and retraced again. Okay, so that, remember when I tell you guys all the time, so the golden rule of 3 is particular to breakout or the true breakout test number 4 and 5, right? So now, once you start getting into 6 and 7, it starts to get a little shaky and bears start to take control. But no matter what, oh, that's not the same ticker. That's MINM. You didn't say MINM. Did you say INM? Is that another ticker? All right, so yeah, you know what? So we'll leave it on the schedule here. So my apology. Oh yeah, there is an INM. Okay, and I think I've looked at that before too, or I've had it in the schedule and I actually didn't get to it. No problem, dude, no problem. We have it right here, so we'll try our best to get to it, okay, man? But yeah, you guys, so now for real, without any further ado. All right, we need to write the little quick note right here that we're going to be starting off with the ticker symbol SPY, right? So that's going to be, yeah, you know what, since we have some limited time, let's go ahead and start dimming the music down just a little bit and get that thing rolling, right? So ticker symbol SPY, let's see what it's got for us. First of all, we were talking about this broadening descending wedge, which is usual or typical as a breakout formation from that macro scale broadening descending wedge that we've been writing for since the start of the bear cycle in November, right? So let's go ahead and now look a little deeper and see what's really going on. Okay, so just like we were talking about, the golden rule of 3 was suggesting for us to be able to make that break out of the channel, or out of the wedge, sorry, on test number 5. We got it. We were already noticing the potentials for this, okay? What I am not liking, however, is this, actually, Mark Roach, I know that you were talking to me about something, macroeconomic data coming in, right? So please, let me go ahead and just, I can't refer back to the chat, right? Because there's too many comments already, but please let me know what you said. I think it was a PCE or what was coming out. What I'm not liking here, guys, on the SPY is this tiny hammer candle here. Okay, so this usually is considered to be an evening star, right? So if this evening star or a morning star, one of those, I forget which one it was, but if we do get a gap down tomorrow with the candle opening right at about 401.42 and it continues to the downside, that would be a bearish formation for the ticker symbol SPY. We will try to validate. So Friday core PCE inflation is coming out. All right, you guys. So thank you, Mark Rose, for providing that information. Very, very good for us to know. Okay, you guys. So yes, like I said, this is usually kind of a bearish formation, right? But if we are able to consider a continuation to the upside, I would really like to see at least a minimum candle closure, 4-hour candle closure above the target that we were looking at right here at 403.24. Okay, so as long as we can close above that 403.24, I mean minimum 4-hour, right? But ideally 8-hour to daily, right? So if we can get that closure, we can be making this or converting this into a valid area of support before continuing on to the upside. Remember that the take profit for this formation in particular is usually located at the genesis of the formation. Okay, so that would be about 417.02. So it's looking nice overall, but I want to get a little deeper into the analysis and see what it's got. Okay, so first of all, volatility versus momentum. Remember, what you're looking at here is volatility represented by this indicator BBWP. Volatility is direction neutral. Okay, so we pair it with a momentum-based indicator to gain that bias for direction. Notice right here that we're actually starting to make the cross of the moving average. I'm sorry, the cross of the volatility component, the spectrum line, above the moving average, which usually suggests a potential expansion phase starting. Okay, so if we're able to see a good move out of this, and I'm actually noticing something very interesting here because it may actually try to break out, and I'm not certain just yet, but there is a very interesting trend line regression rejection happening right over here. Okay, so we are getting very close to an apex, and it could be signaling a potential breakout soon. Remember, volatility is not direction neutral, so only because this is going up does not mean that the price action is going up. we have to gain the perspective from the volatility, from the stochastic oscillator to give us that bias, okay? So here it's suggesting a pretty powerful move. As soon as we are upside of this green line, which is the 15 percentile, as soon as we're above it, then that statistical move is officially on, okay? But what I'm afraid of here is this, okay? Let's look at the stochastics. The stochastics are suggesting this is a very bullish thing, okay? First of all, we are within the bullish control zone. I like that we're there. I like that we're very close to we're in that gravitational zone, so it can be pulled into overbought. I love it. We also got the cross above the 14-day simple moving average. The yellow line represents a 3-day exponential, okay? So that means that we are in an uptrend even still, okay? And it's very significant. Okay, let's look just historically, okay? Just to get a point of reference here, historically speaking, how high has the stochastics oscillator gone up in the first place? So it looks like we can actually take a pretty nice average, taking into consideration that this is already 2006 back here, right? So it looks like the average could be, or the top side could be at around this target here at about 98.64%. We're currently sitting right now at that 78.24. So you can just see how much upside this can actually realize before it actually faces a rejection. If I were to put a quick guess on this, guys, that 98% to the upside could very well be in line with a couple targets here. First of all, yes, I know I want to say the 417, right? I want to say it, but it would be unwise for me to say that just yet, and I will explain to you why, okay? Let's zoom in just a little bit to the price action and take a look right over here. Okay, so we're sitting at 403.70 at the current moment. I'm talking at traditional market close. Okay, meaning not the after hours. Okay, so you can see right over here that this is a gap that we're facing, very likely for us to find some type of resistance there before coming back and validating this as a form of support before continuing on to the upside. Okay, you guys, so not only the fact that it is a gap, we have used it before, we've used it before as a resistance touch, right? So what is that percentage from our current price action? That would lead to a potential small 1 to 2% gain, maybe even just 1%. Okay, but remember, it's still 403 to 408. I'm talking about this is kind of big for the SPY, right? So it's still pretty good. All right, so consider that as a possibility. Let's validate the upside thesis now. 30-minute immediate short-term time frame with the RSI suggesting a potential cross above that 14-day simple moving average. Remember that we are within that gravitational zone, so there is a risk of actually coming back down for a little bit of consolidation. It's still okay, which is pretty much this, right? So let's go ahead and validate with with a higher term time frame. Bi-hourly suggesting a potential touch, a very, very close touch right over here. We're talking about that 403.25, just like we said, right? So 403.25 could be that support before a bounce to the upside. Let's go up a little higher and continue on with our puzzling of these pieces, right? So the 6-hour time frame is actually consolidating, but a nice hint from that 14-day simple that we still have some upside to go. Upside is likely in the 8-hour and 12-hour. So there you go. 8-hour is already suggesting a higher price target, right? We're using that 14-day simple moving average as so much support, and it looks like it's still continuing onwards and upwards. So now the 12-hour looks a little bit of consolidation. Of course, this is in respects to what we're going to be looking at tomorrow, the PCE, the core PCE, right? So that data has to come out, and likely the markets will then react positively or negatively, right? So daily time frame absolutely pivoted to the upside, getting close to that gravitational zone, likely to get pulled up to the upside too. Okay, let's see the bi-daily. Bi-daily as well, upside pivot. 3-day making a very important cross above that 14-day simple moving average. The upside is pretty likely, guys, but I can see a little bit of slower price action or volume in the coming day, or maybe even 2, right? So now the 5-day as well, super important cross above that 14-day simple moving average, making the previous zones, gravitational zone, into a support, having that 14-day simple above us as well, below us as well, right? So 2 forms of support in case we do capitulate. Very nice. All right, so yeah, you guys, my personal opinion would actually be retracing to this range here. I'll draw it real quick. Okay, so this could be that call loading zone anywhere between 403.26 to 401.83 at the 0618 could be a valid area for a potential support. But remember, guys, if we do get a surprise sell-off based on the economic data, if it comes in bad, I mean, right, if we do get a sell-off, remember that this would essentially suggest that morning star, right? So be very careful with that bearish setup. If it does actually realize, wait for the bounce. Okay, you're likely going to see a bounce from 396.63 to come back up to the lows of the current daily candle at about 471. That would be your potential get out of here before it continues capitulating zone, right? All right, you guys, so that's going to do it for ticker symbol SPY. I hope you guys were able to benefit off of that. Now knowing that the upper side is a potential, let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol Tesla, because it may actually follow the sympathy of the follow in sympathy of the broader markets, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this now. What is up, DeMarcus Cousins? What up, Arca? Are we looking at TRKA today? I will put it on the schedule for you, my dude, but I am not. It's not actually in the schedule, so please go ahead and know that it's already there for you. Okay, so we'll try our best. TSLA, Tesla. Let's see what it's got for us. Okay, we were looking at this in the shorter time frames. I'm sure it was the daily or the 12-hour in respect to this ascending channel that we were riding, right? So we were able to see a few targets from the last time we looked at this. I mean, to be honest with you, I think this falling wedge already played out its part. We came back down, we validated that support, and now we're on an upward continuation. I mean, we're right at the support that we were looking at before, right? So what is the bias here? Well, in respects to the SPY and everything else, I mean, just like the SPY daily, it's literally the same pivot. So it's the same situation here, you guys. Remember that Tesla is also a part of the broader market since it is a mega cap, right? So you're talking about huge valuation here. This is able to move the markets by itself. Okay, you guys, so 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, a little bit of consolidation here, slight downside pivot with that 14-day simple. Let's go ahead and notice here that we are looking at a potential support just like on the SPY from the bi-hourly. This could be that area where we find a bounce to the upside within the gravitational zone too, right? Literally just like the SPY. And here we go again. Yep, it's a 6-hour consolidation period. We're near, in this difference here, we're in that gravitational zone, so we could actually get pulled up. That looks pretty good. It's not bad. So now let's look at the 12-hour time frame and see what it's got. 12-hour consolidation as well. We are within that gravitational zone. Very likely for us to see a potential touch. I just don't like that 14-day simple is actually coming down. We could still use it as a form of support before an upside, right? But let's look at the daily. Daily time frame still pivoted to the upside just like we said, right? By daily, just like the SPY. Very recent cross of that 14-day simple to the upside. That's important, okay? That leads to an upside probability. It looks like the 3-day is getting prepped to try to get that cross above the 14-day as well. Now let's look at the last time frame and see what we got. The 5-day time frame is still suggesting a little bit of an upside pivot. 14-day simple still giving us that upside suggestion, but it's still nonetheless, guys, a little bit of consolidation here for ticker symbol Tesla, okay? So remember that we must keep an eye in the broader markets for this thing to be able to realize the upside that we want from it, okay? So right now it is a little bit of a tedious situation as we are getting this bearish candle. Yes, I get it. The immediate support would be at about 193.78 to about 192.71. This area here could be support confirmation area before continuing on to the upside. If we do realize an upside in this, however, we can expect a pullback right from our current highs at about 197.36, come back down, validate this as support, continue on to the upside to touch $200.58, come back yet again, validate 197.39, then we can continue on to the upside, of which there are several targets to look at. In this particular case, 209.52 would be my target in about a week or maybe even a week and a half. Okay, so that it's looking not bad. We just have to get over this broader market stuff. So PYXS, I'll make sure to load it in here, my dude. I will try my best to look at it, right? So I know PYXS was that moon market, right? Moon market put it out, so I will have it there for you, my dude. Let's go ahead and continue on the analysis and see if we can actually get to it, right? So that was it for ticker symbol TSLA. Let's move on, guys. Let's see what what we got. Ticker symbol PRTT, right? So this is the one that some people were saying that it could be what was it? Avid, right? Avid Traders ticker. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it's got for us and see what kind of mess we can create here, right? So PRTT, buy daily time frame, broadening descending wedge. It's already got the golden rule of 3 played out very nicely, breaking out in that test number 5, coming back, validating that support and continuing on to the upside. First of all, we already got that take profit perfectly. Okay, so per the playbook rules, the take profit zone for the broadening descending wedge is located at the genesis of the wedge itself. Okay, notice in the price action, I'm going to zoom in real closely. Notice in the price action we came right to it and retraced. Okay, now that next step was, of course, to come back down, validate that support, continue onwards and upwards, right? Now this is a new breakout. Okay, a new breakout from an inflection point. 70.42 is now a very important support that we must keep an eye on, right? So let's see what it's got for us. First of all, on the buy daily, let me see. Actually, let me go to the daily. Daily time frame is looking a little scary here on the volatility versus momentum. Okay, so notice that the volatility is at 85%. It's not quite critical yet, but it is pretty high and it's pretty up there. Why I'm saying this is because when you pair this with stochastic momentum, you're losing the strength from the bulls here. This usually means that a pullback can happen, okay? And that pullback could be in respects to coming back down to where? The breakout area from the literally that same point that we just talked about, 70.58. Okay, so if we can actually come back down to this area, this could be a very nice zone for potential loading, right? So let's go ahead and see where we have some potential upsides. Okay, so yeah, there could be one right here on the 3-day. We're already contracting, right? And it looks like we have an upside pivot. Let's see, the 3-day just started. So this candle right here, this one, the prior candle, just closed today, which means that the price action affected the stochastics and the volatility all today. So that means that we got an upside pivot. We're right in the gravitational zone, likely to pull us up in the further days. Okay, so that means that we have a shot to maybe get long this ticker and then continue on to the upside. Let's move on to the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame RSI and see what it's got for us. Notice right over here that it's already doing what we're saying. Okay, downside, crossing that 14-day simple moving average in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, likely to continue to the downside. Remember, 30-minute is very fast. Okay, that tends to just kind of literally go fast. Christopher, we are looking at COEP. Okay, that is going to be actually right after CRKN, which is next, right? So yeah, let's continue, guys. Let's see. Buy hourly time frame is also suggesting a downside, just like we're talking about, crossing below that 14-day simple and a pretty significant downside pivot, right? That's pretty good. Now the 6-hour time frame is now showing consolidation with a possible upside pivot, which is very reminiscent of what we're talking about, coming back down to that level of about 70.58 or 70, oh, right here, 70.30 before a potential area of confirmation, before a continuation to that upside is looking not bad whatsoever, guys. Let's see the 8-hour and the 12-hour. 8-hour, similar situation. 12-hour getting very close to that gravitational zone, likely to find that support soon. Very, very much so. What this RSI is telling me in these timeframes that we've looked at thus far, it's suggesting that we do come back down first before we can load for a continuation. Okay, you guys. So even the 12-hour momentum suggesting weakness to the bulls right now, very likely for us to come back, right? Let's look at the 8-hour momentum. Same thing. 8-hour momentum suggesting downside as well. We're starting to contract here, and this means right here that the 8-hour is suggesting a mean reversion. So we may be able to get another target besides the 70.30. So let's go ahead and pull up the ARC reversion variant, which is actually my algo that I've developed, right? Go ahead and notice right here, 66 cents is the reversion that it's giving us as a suggestion. So now, guys, we have 66. The exact target is 66.09 to 70.30. That looks like our support range before a continuation to the upside, right? So very, very cool stuff here in this ticker, okay? It looks nice. We just have to load right here before it can continue on to the upside, as this is very likely a huge move that it's preparing, right? So let's see now. Let's get away from this the ARC variant, right? Now that we know that we have this loading zone, what could be the upside targets though, right? That's the ultimate question all the time. Well, I mean, first of all, the 8-hour, we already printed. Here's another signal that's for the downside. Shooting star candle right here. After an uptrend, right? You get that shooting star. Usually a downward price action is to follow, right? So now let's go ahead and see what PRTT has for the upside for us, okay? Remember, the upside I am not looking at right now. In fact, I am looking at a potential downside continuation for the next day after it maybe a consolidation period, meaning downside then consolidating, right? Validate and confirm this area as a valid support, then continue on to the upside. The likely targets can be found actually in the higher term timeframes, okay? So we got to see what we have here in a very discretionary manner. $1.17 in respects to this triangle right here. Looks like it could be that area of liquidity, okay? This could be a zone for take profits for longs, okay? This candle down here as well. So looking like around that 117 area, that could be a very nice scalp, or maybe even a 2-day swing. It doesn't actually have to be so long, right? So let's just see what that price action is suggesting. Potential 35% move to the upside from the current price action, right? So 87.09 to 117, not a bad trade whatsoever, but please remember that that's from here. What I'm suggesting is from here, all right? So now that turns into a 67% move to the upside, all right? So just know that this could be very, very special, but we have to validate this area first, all right, you guys? So that is now going to do it for ticker symbol PRTT. And actually, let me see. Yeah. I think everything is covered on this. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so now let me see what the chat is saying. Let's see. So Weston, I will absolutely put it on the schedule here. Again, I'm not sure that I can actually get through it, right? But or get to it, right? But I will absolutely have it here, right? So the last time you asked me for it, I did cover it the next day, but I didn't see you here. I'm sure you have family. I'm sure you have work and all that good stuff, right? So we'll make sure to take a look at that as well. So CLNV is in the schedule. Remember, guys, that I will try my best for you, okay? So Cal is also another ticker that is being asked for, right? So Jeremy Bailey, what's up, man? So yeah, let me go ahead and just put it on here. If I am able to get to it, I will definitely cover it, my dude. I am trying already my very, very best to get through these tickers as fast as humanly possible, right? So no, not Kala. It's actually ticker symbol KAL, right? KAL, just KAL. Here it is. All right. So it is in there now. All right. Wow. I can see why people want to maybe consider something, right? Not bad earnings. Only one bad earnings, right? Cool. All right. So yeah, it's in there now. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to see if we can get this thing moving too. Mr. Levitz, I know you asked me for that ticker symbol BBBY, so I'll try my best for that one too. Okay, my dude. But like I said, I can't guarantee to get through these, but I will go ahead and push. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. All right, so it is there for you, my dude. If you didn't text right now, I probably wouldn't have seen it or acknowledged, right? So expert chart manipulator, Arca. Oh, my Arcageddon. I do not manipulate the charts. I actually only tell you what the charts are saying. Ridiculous candle to the downside. Man, that sucks. Oh, goodness gracious. BBBY, lots of lessons being learned with that one. All right, so with which one, Kal-El, which one are you talking about? BBBY, no hope, or what? I'm actually... Or was it for you? Or was it for you? Your ticker, no hope. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you guys, so it looks like the next ticker we got to look at is actually Mark Roach's CRKN. I am very curious to see what Mark said. No, got it. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to that ticker, guys. CRKN. Let me make a note here that we are officially starting it, right, and get this thing on the road. Everybody, thank you so much for coming by. We have a very good show for the rest of the session, right? Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and remember that I'm still offering seats for the ARC Masters trading course starting in April, the second or third week, covering everything from the beginnings of trading, the very fundamentals, all the way up to advanced topics and mathematical application. Get yourself signed up. Make sure to enroll. And yeah. So yeah, the description below has that email, guys. Let's move on now. Ticker symbol CRKN on the daily chart, looks like it has a potential setup, right? We're already starting to get that curvature from the stochastics with an upside pivot. I already am a fan of it, but let's see what it's got, because usually this type of formation can present in a smaller time frame some for a formation called an Adam and Eve formation. Okay, so that usually happens when this is in play. Okay, let me go ahead and just make a quick remember that this is just discretionary, guys. It does not actually have any mathematical properties to it. It is really just a formation, and it is based on sentiment, right? So let me just go ahead and get that drawn up here for you guys, right? So just like this, let me go ahead and make this touch right down here. So the Adam and Eve formation consists, and very curious actually, that it actually succeeded the outside once again, but we still haven't had a candle to close. Actually, this one did. This is the first candle that closed upside of this inflection point right here, right? So I mean, I like it, but the following formation to this formation, the following price action to this formation would be this. Okay, so let's go ahead and just take these arrows here, just like this. So very likely for things to happen in this manner, right? So we come back up, we validate this as an area of resistance, and then shorts take over and it makes it capitulate, right? So this is a very worrisome formation that's happening right now called an Adam and Eve formation. Okay, so let's continue and see what we got no matter what. Okay, we always have to validate. Okay, so already seeing the 12-hour RSI with a potential support from that 14-day simple moving average down here is leading me to believe that we may have a support range, and that support range could be in respects to the wick low from the prior 12-hour iteration candle. Okay, so which could be just like this. Okay, very, very strong potential for it to find a bounce from that 14-day simple and or that 1430 zone before continuing on to the upside. We will have to validate. Let's start that validation process now. 30-minute immediate short-term RSI. Let's see what it's got for us. Downside continuation, already suggesting what we were already talking about, right? So bi-hourly time frame, let's see what it's got. Same thing. Bi-hourly looks to be a little limited as well. Again, in respects to this zone, it's looking like we could find that bounce from there, right? So 6-hour time frame as well. Limited downside, again, bringing relevance to this target here. Let's go ahead and see the 12-hour. 12-hour we already saw with that relevant downside, right? And the daily time frame is where it's at. Okay, you guys, making a very important cross above that 14-day simple moving average, suggesting a massive, massive upside continuation. Let's see what the bi-daily and 3-day have, because they are very likely to have that upside pivot even still. So bi-daily upside pivot looking like it could be facing a little bit of resistance from not only the 14-day simple, but from the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile. Let's move on. 3-day time frame looks to have it looks to have a limited upside as well. Okay, so if we are, and I say if we are able to succeed the 14-day simple moving averages here from both of the, from the 5-day, 3-day, and bi-daily timeframes, we are going to need some serious volume from the daily. Okay, so that means that whatever bounce that we get in respects to the shorter timeframes, aka tomorrow, right? So meaning that if we can get a serious bounce from this zone 1430 to about 1526 or 1514, right? This is the zone right here. If we're able to get a massive bounce from this and then succeed the outside again from this inflection point, the upside may be very relevant for CRKN. Okay, so now in respects to the to the bi-daily volatility versus momentum, please notice that the setup looks like it's already making a very, very explosive suggestion. This means that right here, since we are at critical volatility within that 90 percentile, this is now suggesting a mean reversion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reversion variant and see what it has in store for us. Okay, so again, this is my algo, right? So let's go ahead and just put it in and see what it has for us. The reversion for an upside on the bi-daily suggesting a 22-cent target. It's not bad, but remember that it is just a target for us to look at. That's reverting to the fair value. Okay, so now let's take a fib from the from the prior bi-daily iteration and see if we have any confluence with this target here. So it looks like it's actually suggesting just under the 3.272. So it is very likely to actually find that. It is also just upside of the 2.618. So it is following geometrics pretty nicely. Okay. So like I said, guys, we really do need to make sure that we can get away from this Adam and Eve formation, right? We need to get out of this Adam and Eve formation, and that's going to be in respects to the shorter time frames, realizing this support, bouncing to the upside, and validating this as a current area of support, or reclaiming the support before a continuation onto the upside. Everything is suggesting an upside, but we have to express some serious caution in this, okay? Not only that, guys, it looks like Kraken is actually making a broadening descending wedge right now. Let me see, test number 1, 2, we have number 3. This is test number 4. We could be on our way to make test number 5 breakout. The top side target per the playbook rules for this formation itself is located at 192. I'm sorry that I'm actually not showing you the drawing over what I'm talking about, but if you just want a quick little idea over what I'm talking about, is essentially this right over here, right? So make sure to get the contact point here, all these as support, right? Just like that. Let's go ahead and get this touch right here and make sure that we can see if we have some relevant areas, just like this, right? All of these areas right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th test that we're talking about, right? We could be getting that breakout out of this validation from that 28-cent zone. Then we can rip all the way to the upside to maybe 157 over the span of about 2-3 months. All right, you guys. So it's looking not bad for Kraken. So just keep an eye on this crown electrokinetics. All right. So release the Kraken, they say. All right, so yeah, guys, I like it very much. We just have to keep an eye on those supports. They're very critical, okay? So this is, in essence, preparing a breakout. All right, so good deal. That is going to do it for ticker symbol CRKN right now. Let's move on now to that ticker that a lot of people have been wanting to look at, right? COEP. Let's see what it's got in store for us. Man, what is up, chat? Love that everybody is here tonight. Love that you're joining me, right? So make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, right, you guys? So now let me get a sip of water. My voice is going to go out before I finish the damn ticker. All right, let's see what it's got. Let's see what COEP's got for us. All right, so yeah, COEP. Let me get out of this. I don't want to full screen that. There we go. So, oh yeah, let me just prep my RSIs real quick. Let me make sure that we can actually have them all in line before I get in here, and then I just get all upset. So, yeah, actually another exciting thing is that I'm actually running a different graphics card right now, so it is a more powerful one. So I am not hearing noises from the other one. And I'm still running 3 screens in front of me, so not bad whatsoever, okay? All these, it literally looks like I'm about to launch out of into space from this ship in front of me. All right, so let's start it off and see what we got for COEP, man. Yeah. All right, so, oh my goodness, I hate it so much. All right, so this is already the daily time frame is presenting a pretty bearish formation here. By the way, guys, I'm actually still long in this, and I'm down right now 2%, so it's not bad, right? So this is, let's see, no, well, it could be the 3 black crows formation, maybe. I just don't like that this wick was all the way up here. I would prefer this wick to be down here in order for it to be validating 3 black crows, right? So 3 black crows on a daily is a pretty powerful formation for the downside. But remember that I did talk about us validating this newly converted resistance into a support before we can continue on to the upside. So this is why we're in this area, and also still within the support that we've been talking about from the get-go. Okay, so let's see what the 12-hour actually closed was. 159 and 159 right now. Of course, it is that. All right, so now let's start to see what could be in line for us. Okay, so remember, golden rule of 3, breakout on true test number 4, realize that upside, come back down, validate the support, then we can actually make an upside continuation. But what can be indicative of that? Okay, so let's go ahead and continue right here. So Vic Boss, COSM is definitely in the schedule, but I'm not sure that I can get to it. But no matter what, we'll try our best. Okay, so let's go ahead and see right over here that this is that bearish formation that I was talking about, guys. But it looks like it's turning into a bullish one. And the reason I can tell you this is because now this doesn't look necessarily like a test of the support from or as a newly converted resistance. from the support of this bearish triangle, right? So we already invalidated the pennant. The original pennant that we had right here was drawn in just like this, all right? So that pennant is now gone, right? So this is entirely invalidated. Now we have to look at this right angle triangle, which usually presents a downside continuation when formed after an upside, okay? Now, the price action, since it is in line here, let's go ahead and modify that triangle to show you what I mean. Okay, just like this right here. Okay, something like this. I'm going to have to get into closer time frames to see. But notice that it looks like we're trying to fail it, but we reclaim the inside of this triangle yet again. Okay, so what you're looking at here is actually a few different things. This could potentially be a falling wedge. Okay, so if it is a falling wedge, then this turns into a positive thing, and it is no longer a negative formation, right? So let's go ahead and just take that trend line from the top side of the triangle all the way to the lower end of the triangle and gain our price objective. Okay, so as soon as we gain or claim the apex of the triangle, we could be breaking out very soon. This is already at a potential 75 to 80%, so it could be soon. All right, so let's just say that we were to break out around here, right? So it's curious because it would be taking us right to 208 at the 1.618 golden mean, which is very close to our high from this candle here just a couple days ago, right? Or yesterday, I think. So very curious that it would take us there anyway. All right, so not only that is that, let's look at the following chart to see what we have. Okay, this is the reason why I told you that we could be in that very strong validation process before a continuation to the upside. And this is why in 15 hours, about to be 14 hours and 59 minutes, we're going to close this weekly candle. Okay, this weekly candle is definitely something that we have to watch out for. First of all, it is after an uptrend and potentially a shooting star that could present a downside. We have to be careful here, but the downside is likely too, because we could be validating yet again into that 150 zone, just like we've been talking about, right? So 150 for the breakout out of this symmetrical triangle before a continuation onto the upside. The target from this symmetrical triangle is 306. Okay, so that closure for the weekly candle is very, very, very important. Okay, you guys, so we'll go ahead and keep an eye on this, likely to close tomorrow. All right, so now let's move on to the next. Let's see. Yeah, take a look at this. This was the other algorithm regarding a mean reversion, and please notice just how perfectly we're moving down the mean, and we're still knocking at the door out of it, right? So this is absolutely something that we have to actually keep in mind, right? So right now in the current price action right now on the weekly, it says time frame W, right? I'm sorry, in the daily, we're about 10.21% right up here, right? As soon as I move it, you have to see the time frame D current, right? So minus 10.21% from the mean right now. So we'll see how this price action goes again, guys. I'm telling you that we are in a very, very important support right now. Notice the relevance of the support from the current price action, okay? Literally the wick low from today. Let me extend the line and just you for yourself take a look at just how much there is relevance to this resistance, right? How much relevance there is to the support with the closing of these candles, right? Opening of this candle right here, touching down onto the support right there, resistance, support, all kinds of that. That usually represents, a point of inflection, right? So this could, very well, it doesn't mean that we can't fail it, right? We can still wick down and continue on to the upside. So in my opinion, guys, it's still looking pretty good. I don't know. Oh, look at this. And it's very funny that we did get earnings today on this, and it was an earnings beat. And the price continued to the downside, right? Sometimes, and I'm telling you sometimes, okay, this does not mean that it has to be every time. Okay, sometimes people say, why did we get that inverse play? Well, the retail is a lot smarter today, guys, than they were yesterday, right? So if we have to come back down and validate a newly converted resistance into support via a systematic trader's rule base, then we're probably going to do that, guys, because there's a lot of systematic whales out there, okay? So, Hound, what is up, my dude? Good to see you here in the chat. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about, okay, you guys? So let's go ahead and move on and see what we have please notice that in that weekly time frame too, this is the reversion variant of mine, right? So suggesting, yes, a huge target to the upside, and it looks like it could be in play for a few reasons. We have that stochastic momentum upside of the 14-day simple moving average, still with a slight upside pivot. We're gonna see what it did in about 15 hours because we're now contracting. That means that we're about to face a mean reversion potential, okay? And that mean reversion on the weekly is located at 820, all right? And notice that the algo gave us this. All right, very, very curious. All right, so I'm just saying, okay, just keep an eye on it. All right, so immediate upside on that 30-minute, actually one in the hourly, right? Immediate upside followed by a tiny rejection. It looks like the downside is limited though. And why am I saying limited? Well, because the 12-hour is showing us two support ranges here: the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile and the 14-day simple moving average. Damn it, this could be good. All right, this could actually be good. Now, just like I always say, I can't trust these little tiny pivots, right? Let me see the daily. Yes, same thing with the daily, right? So very close to that support touch. If we're looking for an immediate short-term time frame downside, then let's go ahead and see that potential. It could be the bottom side of our freaking falling wedge here on the hourly. It could be right here, right at about 157 before a bounce to the upside. All right, so and then yeah, like I said, I can't trust these little pivots, but what I do have to call on both the 3-day and the 5-day, although I hate these little pivots because they tend to fail, right? We are in that gravitational zone and the gravitational zone. So very likely we can actually see an impulse from the shorter time frames to then influence these higher term time frames to the upside. Guys, COEP is not looking bad. Of course, it has some red days, but I think that there could be a potential upside in this soon. Okay, you guys. So, Sherlock 87. I'll try my best, dude. I'll definitely put it on here, right? So, I know. I think AMC Ape was actually just telling me that I did such a good call in that last run, right? So I love that I was able to give or provide some good information, right? But I'm just not sure that I can actually get to it today, as I am running super heavily behind in schedule, but it is now in the official live ticker schedule. All right, my dude. So good to see you here though, man. I really very much appreciate you coming by. All right, so guys, that is gonna do it for that ticker symbol COEP. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol CRTD, because this is doing something that we already knew that was going to happen, right? So we talked about it just yesterday or the following, or I'm sorry, just, when was it? A couple days ago? Chat, let me know. When the hell did I say it? I forgot when I said it, but I said that we just have to validate whatever needs to be validated. We likely found the floor, but we could be seeing an upside for CRTD fairly soon, right? So let's go ahead and just take a look at the setup now, okay? So daily time, there we go, guys. So, but I mean, to be fair, yeah, Mr. Levis, I think it was last night, right? So, but to be fair, with retail and with you guys, I did mention that it is a chop box, right? So very likely for us to trade within this area here. So now that we were at that floor here, I said that we could potentially make the upside to about that 1693 or about 1596. We're literally between those two targets, right? So the upside here absolutely happened. The good thing is that facing price action like this could now induce a breakout from this symmetrical triangle. Okay, so now our odds start to be, I mean, I'm talking about the bulls, right? So they're starting to get favored towards the bulls is what I'm saying. So if we are getting a closing basis candle here, so this can technically be the breakout area. The target could potentially lead us to the 1.618 at about 2617 to 2787, which is relevant to this resistance range right over here, right? So we'll draw it in and we'll just look and we'll continue validating our upside thesis before we finish the ticker, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at volatility volatility versus momentum on the buy daily because it was the upper term timeframes that were suggesting that potential move. So let's go ahead and just pull it down like this just to see what we have. All right, go ahead and notice that just like we said, we needed to get inside of the critical volatility zone and start to contract before we can make an upside move. Notice that we're now starting to get the exponential 3 period and the simple 14 period with an upside suggestion. Okay, this is suggesting now a mean reversion. All right, so now let's go ahead and see what that reversion target could be. Where's the reversion variant? Where are you at? Where are you at? There you are. Okay, so the reversion variant. Where is it leading, guys? Come on, look at this, okay? It's leading right to our discretionary target, what we were just talking about. Man, the algo and Arca are both in the same page. So I think that this could very well start to make a move to the upside. Of course, it's not just going to be one freaking candle to the upside. The last thing you want is that. Okay, you want slow growth. You want to make sure that it's healthy growth so that it doesn't fall against you. All right, so this is already suggesting a very similar target. Now, I mean, first of all, geometrics suggesting the 1.618. Right, discretion via this triangle psychology, right, is suggesting right upside of the 618, 2798, 29 cents from our mean reversion mathematical application. Guys, this is all suggesting a potential touch of that target. Okay, I'm sorry that the chart is a little messy. It's just I've been kind of covering it with everybody here as often as I could, right? Not every day, but as often as I could, right, you guys? So this is very curious price action coming in from CRTD. Let's validate that upside thesis now. Let's minimize. Oh, actually, let me look at the 3-day volatility versus momentum because that was the other one too. Yeah, look at look at that. We're starting to contract. We're starting to get that upside pivot from both of these moving averages. That doesn't mean that we're going to get the upside. Remember, look what happened here. All right, so there is that possibility as well, right? But we are in pretty oversold areas, right? So, and I mean, really some of the lowest points that we've seen throughout the entire trading history on the 3-day of the CRTD asset, right? So let's go ahead and just make this a little bit smaller so that we can look at the RSI starting from the immediate short-term time frame, just like we always do, guys, on that 30-minute. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that and reference price action versus momentum. So go ahead and notice here that we're about to make a very important bullish cross on the 30-minute immediate short term above that 14-day simple, getting close to that. What is this? Yeah, this is the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, very likely to continue on to the upside. Let's see the buy hourly. So buy hourly CRTD looking like it could be consolidating very soon. Consolidation, why? Because we have a slight, very weak downside here alongside an upside suggestion from the 14-day simple moving average. So we do have the buy hourly lives out pretty fast, literally within the first few hours of the trading session, right? So I mean, we have that support from the 14-day simple, so we could actually see just like this and like this. We could do it again and continue onwards and upwards. So that's why I said that we're not going to see one candle to the upside, guys. It's going to be kind of a zigzag, a very trekky move to the upside. It's going to be trying on psychology, on the emotions. Make sure to just watch your longs, show conviction behind your thesis in the trade, and know in the first place why you're even entering. And before you enter, know that you're exiting at a certain place. Stick to the plan, or else your plan will fail you. Okay, you guys? So now let's continue on the analysis here. 6-hour time frame suggesting a massive upside, already suggesting what we're talking about, right? So 8-hour time frame, huge support from the gravitational zone right now. Even if we were to come back down for the remainder of the last part of the trading session tomorrow, Friday, we could see the support touch from that 14-day simple, but it would be great if we can actually close a green day for CRTD before an upside continuation, as that would be a psychological beat for this ticker. All right, you guys, 12-hour time frame suggesting just upside in the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile, very likely to continue on to that upside, right? So let's go ahead and look at the daily. Same situation here, guys. Gravitational zone upside pivot, very likely for CRTD to see upside. Look at this, buy daily, making a very important cross above that 14-day simple, suggesting a continuation to the upside. 3-day is now, this is really curious, okay? The 3-day, it just started, by the way, okay? It just started today. Notice how we actually pivoted to the upside today. So it was here, the last 3-day, this candle right here, right? This is where that pivot is. And then based on the closure, we got an immediate upside suggestion. And now we have the 14-day simple above us as resistance. But notice that it's in the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile. This could actually suggest a potential break and an upside above that 14-day simple. And it's gonna be the first time since January 30th. All right, so that would be incredibly bullish for this asset. Okay, you guys, I like it. 5-day time frame, same situation, I'm sure. There you go, limited upside right here. But that upside, the distance between the signal and the 14-day simple, guys, that's huge. That's a lot of upside. Okay, which means that it could be that area right here. Okay, so everything is rhyming within the upside here, you guys. So I honestly feel that CRTD, just like I said before, the floor is likely in and the upside could be soon. And you guys, that upside could actually be realizing now. I know I have a back test somewhere over it. The probabilities are definitely suggesting an upside. So I definitely like it, guys. That is going to do it for ticker symbol CRTD, right? So I'm still a couple minutes shy, right? So let's go ahead and put in one more ticker for tonight, guys. It's going to be ticker symbol BCAN. I'll see if we can squeeze one more, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol BCAN for my boy Johnny Barnes, right? So let's see what it's got. Let me just minimize this area here and just kind of make the best out of the space that we have available, right? So sorry guys, this was actually the one of the plays that we actually made in the Arca Bulls Discord, right? So let me actually load up a brand new chart and see what we have, right? So as I don't want you guys to kind of deal with all the targets that we had from that play back in I don't know, a few weeks ago. So yeah, so I just said that we're gonna do a new ticker, right? So let me get rid of this. I'm messing up, you guys. Here we go. So let's create a new chart, likely to open right in that BCAN, right? Good deal. All right, so now let me put it on log. Let's get that daily time frame in and see what we got, right? So price action, what are you telling me? All right, so broadening descending wedge, BCAN, right? So just like this on the daily time frame, it looks very confluent actually. So actually this, there we go. Okay, so just like that, and this right over here as well. Okay, so I can actually honestly favor this, like maybe to this area right here, and adjust the bottom side to favor all of these touches here, right? So, and this one too, very good. This touch here, very minimal failure before reclaiming the inside of it. Okay, so this type of, remember guys, that here when you're seeing this diminishing price action here, this usually is indicative of a potential reversal. Why? Because it's a falling wedge, right? So it's just a psychological component to the trade, right? So something along the lines of this right over here, right? So let's just go ahead and draw it in and then make sure that we can actually see what the real potentials are here, right? So I actually didn't note on my notes here that we started BCAN. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick before we continue, right? So, all right, it is in now. So BCAN, falling wedge right now, that usually presents an upside. Okay, so how are we going to get that upside bias? Remember, trend line from the top side of your triangle to the lower end, apply it to the supposed area of breakout. 65 to 70% could be about here. Okay, so meaning Tuesday, April 4th, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's 65 to 70% is typical, right? So this target of about 249 is suggesting the top side of these candles here at 247. So naturally, we have a resistance range, right? So let's just go ahead and draw that in, and then we'll start to validate a potential upside thesis. But since we are kind of, and you know what, we'll do it to about here, to this candle low, right? So 247 to 251 resistance range, right? What I want to talk to you guys about is this potential. First of all, yes, we are kind of peaking at the top, right? And now we're on our way down, right? So there, it is very likely for us to find a potential downside continuation first and zigzag just a little bit around before we can get to next week and then actually start a potential breakout. Okay, so let's see what we have on our tools. Okay, so let's just go ahead and add the volatility. Let's add momentum. Let's see if we have any setups in play for this, and then we'll make an educated guess, right? So this is very, man, dude, this is very aggressive, but it's also a little bit of consolidation, and it was an immediate price action, meaning that the candle actually, it actually probably failed, right? Because it opened red. It opened right up here at 225, failed all the way to 215, then immediately recovered, making volatility immediately contract, right? And now this formation here, or this suggestion, is suggesting an upside, but I would really like to see other timeframes to kind of get that for sure validation. Okay, so the bi-daily time frame is very much set up for a potential run, right? It is already at critical oversold, and historically speaking, at or about the lowest iteration from back here in October 2022. Okay, so now let's see the immediate short-term time frame, RSI, and see what it's got for us. Okay, so as we really do need some validations here. Okay, so the downside is already being looked at like we were talking about, right? So finding resistance from that 14-day simple. Let's move on to the bi-hourly and see what it's got. Bi-hourly also finding that resistance touch from the 14-day simple and the gravitational zone, right? So let's go ahead and move on. We still need more. 6-hour time frame still, guys. Yes, the thesis that we had about potentially coming back down, then starting to zigzag before making an upside to next week is starting to become a little more clear based on our discretion, right? So 8-hour time frame as well. Downside pivot here, already crossing below the gravitational zone, but now we're in the gravitational zone of the bull strength. So this, the bear strength, sorry, which means that we can maybe see an upside soon, but let's continue. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's weakening on the 12-hour too. And now the daily is in a very precarious situation. This is tedious here, okay? Why am I saying that? Is because we're in the gravitational zone, which could be pulled to the downside. There is that 14-day simple as a resistance, okay? But it is still consolidating, okay? So that means that the bi-daily is likely, so the bi-daily is actually trying to reject and trying to make that upside. Let's see the 3-day. 3-day is also trying to do the same thing. Guys, whatever has to happen here has to happen to the downside first, okay? And that's likely to happen over the next maybe 1 to 2 days, maybe 3, but that validation process has to happen for that falling wedge to kind of realize for that upside, right? We were looking on the daily, I believe. This one right over here, guys. So let's go ahead and evaluate our targets real fast. This zone here that you're looking at, which could be at about 222, very likely to find a bounce to test our current lows, 224, before continuing on to the downside, okay? Then we get another bounce from 220, then we validate the 222, and then zigzag our way down all the way to the potential area of 215 to about 213, okay? So that's going to be my bottom side for you to evaluate, okay? 213 to 215. Very, very likely a loading zone for this thing to actually start to do this upside test of the 220, coming back down to this support level 215, then again into the resistance touch here, fail it one more time, load at 218, get out. Okay, so now on that upside, we may see 228 before a reversal to then validate our newly converted resistance into support before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so sometime next week, I'm thinking that we can actually see an upside on this. Maybe I would say, if I were to be honest with you, maybe Wednesday, something like that, right? So keep an eye. Okay, just I mean, this was right. We're downtrending, and then we went up. We printed a hanging man, right? And then followed by another hanging man. So likely to see a downside. Okay, so it is what it is, guys. So just be careful with the price action here, okay, Johnny? And let me know if you have any questions or whatever. I'll try to get to them as fast as possible, right, you guys? So you know what? I actually did get a request for somebody to look at MULN real quick, right? So let me just see what MULN has in store. And this is not going to be an official test of this one, guys. I'm actually evaluating this. I'm just going to really give just a quick opinion here. So let me load up the RSI and see what the current price action is doing. Okay, so it found new all-time lows. Okay, so it went all the way to 8 cents. Damn. Stop diluting. Huge downside here for ticker symbol MULN, right? Very unfortunate. But the daily time frame is making a very curious upside cross above the 14-day simple with a massive upside thrust. I love this candle, right? The reason why I'm saying that is is because I'm not saying the type of candle. I'm saying I love that the candle gapped up because that immediately created a support range down here at about 1105, right? So very likely if this thing is to come back down, it can find that support at 1105 before a continuation onto the upside, right? So buy daily is about to make a cross upside of the 14-day moving average. That's not bad. All right. So 3 days showing some limitations. So if we were actually to see the 5-day limitation, then that would actually show us the potential of finding a resistance from this zone here at about 18 cents, which is actually that target that I ended up talking about from when we were way up here. Okay, so I did say that the 18 cents was a high probability and it bounced significantly to the upside from that 18 cent to 47. All right, so then we actually got that capitulation. I'm seeing that the retail and whoever else was just not ready for ticker symbol MULN to continue on to the upside. Okay, it really matters what the people feel, right? So 30-minute immediate short-term time frame, it's okay. We can just see it. Already suggesting that potential downside that we were talking about in case we did come back down right to 1105. Let's see the buy hourly. Buy hourly as well, showing that limited downside to that 14-day simple moving average. That would be a support from not only the 14-day simple, but as well as that gravitational zone. Okay, so very cool. 6-hour time frame. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, guys, I very likely we can actually see two potentials here, 1140 to 1105, with the lowest area potential of about 1058. Okay, these three targets are on my radar. Okay, for a potential bounce to the upside, in which case would then form a very silly inverse herpy-derpy, right? So we'll get that shoulder right over here, right? Just like that. We'll get that head right over here, and we'll get that other shoulder right down here. Potential upside continuation, right? So again, guys, that's it's just a silly formation, right? It's even silly because it is a smiley face, right? So so then we can actually get that price objective. Okay, so let's just say, for example, that the neckline would be, actually, yeah, the neckline would be this right here. So the top side target, which could be from that neckline to the head, apply it to the neckline and above, right? So that top side target could be leading to about 1458. Very curious target because it is within all this resistance here and support, right? So, and then another thing that we can do is actually take a fib from the current range high to the range low, right? So now if we can actually grab a fib, that'd be dope. So there we go. So now let's take a look here, and it is suggesting just upside of the 1 spot 272 in between the 1 spot 618. It is following a geometric format, right? So I like it. I like it. It's just, it needs to come back down again and potentially to these three targets that we spoke about, right? Before a continuation to the upside. And the upside could, let's see. There is a small setup, but not quite as powerful as I would like it to be. There is a setup right over here. Air Crown, get out of the way. All right, right over here. Maybe this one, right? So we're getting an upside pivot here on the buy daily, but maybe the 3-day would actually do it for us. There we go. Yeah, the 3-day. All right, so the 3-day is critically oversold. Critical volatility loading right now. If we were to validate this upside, another few days, unless sentiment just decides to take it, right? So say if the mass psychology just decides to rip it to the upside, then so be it, right? But the charts are suggesting we're not there yet. It's still a few days away. But I mean, whoever bought at that 8-cent level is I mean, dramatically up. At a certain point from today's price action, that person was up 44%. So that's not bad at all, right? So very cool price action coming out of MULN. Not exactly sure what's going on with this, as it is actually facing a potential earnings on, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but May 23rd, right? So, and yeah, actually it has a better rate of earnings expectations than it does of earnings misses, right? So, and also it has more misses than it has earnings beats. So this is really, I mean, if you guys know what an indecision candle is, like this ticker is that for me. This ticker is a whole ass indecision candle, and the indecision doji, let me see if I can find one real quick for you, right? I'm sorry to put it that way. It's just, I mean, it's just I'm expressing to you that it's just I can't tell if this thing actually wants to make an upside or not, right? So in indecision doji, I would really prefer it to have a smaller body, but just like this, right? Even wick to the upside, even wick to the downside. That suggests a battle, a tie, right, between the battle of the bears and the bulls. So that's this ticker. MULN is an indecision doji to me, okay? So be very careful with this ticker. I do see that upside, guys, but I would really express caution, okay? So now, guys, that is going to do it for tonight. I'm very excited to have been able to stream for you, right? And take care of so many tickers tonight. So I love it, guys. Remember that I will always try to get to your tickers later on, no matter what. Still have to look at APRN, still have to look at MZGP, right? We have to make sure to get some charts in. I didn't get to MZGP, and that was the one that I said that was going to move a really, really high amount, and it has been over the last 2 nights. All right, so moderators, Mark Roach, Hound, Sebastian Lim, moderator Cal L. I love you guys. Samantha H. Thank you so much for everything you do. Indra, good to see you here in the chat. I'm sorry that I didn't actually get to see you earlier. I was in a rush to try to get this going, right? Johnny Barnes, Mr. Levitz, if my power lifter is still in here. Weston Harris, I apologize. We'll try to get everything evaluated, right? CLNV is definitely still a ticker that we need to get out of the way, right? So, guys, but with that said, that's just going to do it for tonight, guys. I wish everybody very well, a very good night, and I will catch you all at the bell. Remember, at the bell. Mañana. Adios.